And because people don't know what to do with that grief, it it, it really can affect them in a way that they're not prepared for.
Mm.
Um, because something that was a realization to me in this is grief can cause distance.
Mhm.
Um, like as a therapist, as somebody who sits with people in grief quite often, as somebody who's read material on grief, loss, ambiguous loss, like uncertain loss, like no like a loss that doesn't have closure, like sitting with people in these different forms of grief, you would almost feel like I should know
Mm.
how people can be there for me grieving. Um and the reality is it I feel like it just hit me how it hit everybody else. Like
Mm.
I have no idea what I want, what I need. Um like I don't feel motivated. Like I just wanna curl up in the bed. I don't wanna be in nobody's face. Like I'm at the funerals and like I don't wanna be around anybody. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of moments where it hit me and I didn't know what to do with that.
Mhm.
And because people don't know how to be there for their partner, that distance can cause them to separate. It can cause them to not ever be back to where they used
Mhm.
to be.
Yeah.
That is the power of grief. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't grieve that deeply unless you love that deeply.
Yeah.
And um it was so, I don't know, it was just so impactful being able to just walk through this with you. Um because at the end of the day, like I mean, obviously we don't know what it's going to look like going forward. We don't know what it's going to look like um as far as how it'll hit in a year, 3 years from now. The only thing that's a common thread of sayings is like like the grief, it never ends. And so what does that look like later? We'll see. But um just even I guess even going to the point of grief causing distance, like, and I guess the first thing we kind of just want to share with this is like you have to be present when it comes to dealing with grief or a grieving spouse. Um because you, like, being present really is you being aware of like your partner in the here and now. Like when you're aware, like when you are like not disassociating, when you're not
Mhm.
like finding your peace at work when they need you,
Mhm.
like when you're present, I think only then will you discover the best way you can be for your partner. And because you were present, because you were trying to figure out how you can be there, I think only then were we able to kind of navigate some of the brief disconnect that came with um the grief, because they're like you wanted to be close and I wanted space.
Mhm.
Um you wanted to fix it and I didn't want to be fixed, or I didn't want this to be fixed. Like I didn't know how this could be fixed.
Right.
And so sitting in that was very difficult for both of us. Cuz on my side, I know you want to be close, and there's this part of me that even while even while being sad, there's this part of me that felt guilty
Mm.
because you wanted to be close and I didn't want you to.
Mm.
Because I don't want you to feel that rejection that comes with you wanting to be close and me not wanting to be close, me not wanting the hugs, or me not wanting like the talks. Like
Mhm.
there's a part of me that like felt guilty, and it was kind of hard to navigate that because it almost made me feel like the guilt kind of made me feel selfish in a sense.
Mhm. That's funny.
Yeah, like it made me feel selfish, and it's like even in this, there's complexity because it's like I can't really just be without considering how it'll affect you. So just for the distancing part, like even in that, like, there's this guilt that I feel when it comes to how you show up for me or me allowing you to show up for me.
I remember we were walking and you were telling me like how you were thinking about grief. This is initially in the beginning, and you were more so concerned about everyone else and how your grief and your pain was affecting them. And I told you, like, this is the moment where you get to be selfish. Like, you don't have to worry about nobody else. You don't have to be a strength for nobody else. You don't have to carry nobody else. You get to feel what you're feeling and allow yourself to do that. And it was different for you because, as you said, you've been on the other side of it and you're like, this is different, where everyone's reaching out and praying and you one don't care for attention like that. But it was different for you as a therapist, being the one that needs the comfort and the encouragement and the prayers during your time of grief. But I said it was funny because you mentioned feeling like this guilt and this selfishness, and so did I. Um, I'm not really um high emotional person, I guess. Most women are emotional. But for me, that's not the case. And I think just through life circumstances and whenever it's my cycle week, I am more emotional than my usual.
Mhm,
And of course, this hit at that time. And so usually I'm more of needy, I guess you would say. And I felt selfish because it was like, okay, in this moment where you're grieving and I want to be close to you, but then want to honor and give you the space that you need to allow you to process the way you process and to allow you to grieve. I was like, okay, this is selfish. Like, like this is not about you. Don't take it personal, the distance that I was feeling or the disconnect that I was feeling. Like, understand that all of this is a part of grief and a part of what he's feeling, and it's a necessary part of it. And so I had to constantly remind myself of that because my emotions were on high alert. I had to remind myself of like not taking it personal. Don't be selfish. This is not about you. And I had to continuously bring it before the Lord of like, okay, help me, to obviously serve, love, support, and be a strength to my husband without taking it personal. And also praying for your heart to not allow grief to change you in the process. And we got to talk about that. It was a moment where I was like, can we expose the enemy? Which is our thing that we do when, there's this lie or thought that the enemy's throwing at us that we want to bring to the table.
mhm,
And I was telling you like how I was triggered in all of this. And obviously this was like maybe a week after, but
mhm,
that I have been in previous relationships and I've seen where grief can cause this disconnect and this distance and there is no coming back from it. And so I was like, don't allow the grief to change you. And in that moment, you were expressing the anger that you felt, which is also very real and a part of grief. And you were expressing this anger that you felt. And I was just saying, like, I don't want your heart to be cold or to be hardened or bitterness to come from this, especially the way that everything played out. And so I was more concerned for your heart and praying for you and interceding in that way that this didn't change who you were and that the dynamics of our marriage would like, be this thing that we couldn't get back to because for us we do everything together. You're my best friend. So it's normal for us to be close. It's normal for us to watch shows together. It's normal for us to do whatever we're doing it together, right? That's our normal. And
mhm.
so this was different because there was a distance that was felt. It was like you wanted to watch a show. Like we have this thing where it's like, if we watching a show, we can't watch it without one another, right? That's a no-no. And like you started a whole new series, right? And you just sometimes you didn't want to feel and you just wanted something that was you didn't have to think about with all that was happening. And so you wanted to watch a series. And I'm like, you watching a new show without me? Like, what is
Mhm,
this? And just not take it personal. Okay, this is his way of dealing with what he's feeling and the grief. And I know it's a lot. And so again, reminding myself, don't take it personal. And also reminding myself, like, don't be selfish. This is not about you. And so just trying to figure out the best way to be there for you. And I think another way is prayer.
yeah.
Lots of prayer. Prayer going into the funerals. Prayer interceding, like staying up at night, waking up at night, laying hands on you, anointing you, praying over your mind and praying over your heart and just asking the Lord to not allow this any bitter roots to be seated in your heart and allow you the peace to grieve and to get the closure that was needed and to heal your heart because when you love someone so deeply like a parent, life is never the same, right? It's going to be hard moments and we're just entering into it. there will be the first is always the hardest of the first Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, Father's Day, all those things without, having the person you lost. All of that is a part of grief. And the thing was, for me, is your mind and your heart, and understanding who you are. You have a huge heart, and you have this empathy and this compassion that I've always admired, and not wanting grief to change you, and also not wanting the enemy to take advantage of your vulnerable position. You're in such a vulnerable position, and what I've seen in previous recent months, actually, with my own self and other people, is like in the moments where we're most vulnerable is when the enemy tries to come in and take advantage of that moment. And so while you had the right to feel everything you were feeling, I didn't want the enemy um to use that and bring deception and bring bitterness and bring unforgiveness and all the things. And so through this, what on the after going through the funeral services, what the Lord revealed to me is like, because there was a conference that we were having at our church, and everyone's like, "Oh, you missed it, you missed it, you missed it. This happened, and this happened, and this happened." And it was like the Lord had to remind me, like, "No, you were exactly where you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, this was your assignment. You were in position." And what would have happened, in Ecclesiastic, where it talks about the two standing back to back, what would have happened if I wasn't there to pray and intercede? Then your back would have been exposed, and you would have been open to attack from the enemy, especially with all the arrows that were being thrown at you. And so the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And we have no idea in the spiritual realm, just our position and our posture of prayer for our spouse and what that can do.
Forever and always, gonna love you and always. No doubt you're my blessing. Ain't no second guessing. No one can separate. We find a good thing. Even after the altar, it's marriage in motion.